Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. You just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, it's a Wednesday Write That Down session here on Purple Daily. And also a bonus for you guys because we were so packed yesterday on yesterday's Purple Daily. We have moved the Random Viking of the Week for this week to today. So you're going to get Write That Down and a Random Viking of the Week, which we brought back due to your requests by popular demand. We've reset the whole thing starting from zero. And so we'll have the second one of, the second iteration of Random Viking of the Week today. So we are packed. And also, if you are a Timberwolves fan or a Wild fan, those teams are in the playoffs. I know Judd is very optimistic and happy about the Wild clinching a playoff spot last night in heroic fashion. Could not be more sunshiny about that. So if you're a Wolves fan or a Wild fan, Judd's Hockey Show and Flagrant Howls are near daily at this point going into playoff season. So check those out. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Why don't we take a celebratory to celebrate the Wild? Let's go to Quick Trip to start the show here.
You know what?
The grit, the guile.
Forget the Wild. Forget the Wild. Let's celebrate Quick Trip because I'm going to tell you right now, this is a championship team. This is a championship store. You know why? Because Quick Trip shows up every day and does their job, and they do a great job. And here's the thing is they do their job when it comes to food, which means if you did not do your job, which is you did not pack a snack or lunch, guess what? That's fine. Quick Trip has you covered. They go in front of the goal. They go in the corners. They do everything that a great store should do. Quick Trip does exactly that. And here's the thing, too. If you don't have time, to stop and score, Quick Trip, back to Quick Trip, back to a sandwich, back to a burger. If you don't have time, to stop in the store, that's absolutely fine. You can put the app on your phone, ladies and gentlemen. The ease of Quick Trip.
I can't stop it. I need to refresh.
This is a lot of goals.
No, they keep scoring. Play Chelsea Dagger next because Quick Trip deserves it. Absolutely outstanding.
North American Banking Company also presents Write That Down every single Wednesday, just like they present a great banking experience for you guys, whether it's the basics, the checking, the savings, or if you're in the home buying season, like the Goff family closed on their home yesterday. Old Dex is going to learn about paving a sidewalk. It's going to be great. But if it's a big project or if it's just checking savings or something in between, North American Banking Company can help you. It's a Minnesota-based banking company since 1998, 6 locations in the Twin Cities, Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, and 50th in France. You can find out more at nabankco.com/Mackey. That's nabankco.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. All right, dudes. So we're the only show in America, to our knowledge, unless someone's now... actually, NFL Network tried to steal this segment like a year or two ago. And I don't know. The listeners sent them a cease and desist on behalf of the show, I guess.
Well, they didn't keep track.
Yeah, they did like the predictions, but then they didn't.
It's meaningless then.
Yeah, so we keep track of the stats on this and the OG edition on Mackie and Judd / the Score North YouTube channel. But it's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They have to be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to be like Jay, who's going to make his second appearance ever as a guest listener participant, if you want to be like him and do this, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. So this is kind of the dead zone. The season runs Super Bowl to Super Bowl. And during the season, things are flying off the board weekly, during free agency, draft, schedule. But we're kind of in that eye of the storm here. So not a lot coming off the board. In the absence of predictions coming off the board, we'll highlight some things that are still out there. Like Judd said, Tom Brady will not be with Fox or the Raiders by 2026.
When did I make that prediction? I don't even remember that one.
Ever. Yeah. It sounds
I think it was like when there was some controversy about Brady not being able to hop on the conference calls.
I wish I had just said Fox now, but that's okay.
Yeah, the or. Well, no, you said Fox. Yeah, Fox or the Raiders, not and. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I could see him. I could see the Fox thing still. I mean, I don't think he's going to quit it, but it does seem weird.
I mean, he's getting paid $30-some million a year. I don't think he's going to be the one to end that relationship. So I think the NFL would have to. Still on the board for me, I said the Vikings will sign at least one of these offensive guards, Zach Martin, Brandon Scherf, or Kevin Zeitler. So Zeitler and Zach Martin have found either homes or the retirement home. Brandon Scherf, there was some retirement steam from the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line and some others, but he's still an available veteran guard if you wanted to sign. Let's say you didn't find a guard that you loved in the draft or something. You could sign Brandon Scherf still.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we'll leave this on the board. Listeners, David said the Timberwolves will win a championship before the Vikings. This is their shot.
I was going to say, you got a lot. What, 2 months now? Some real potential there. So, yeah.
Yep, they got a shot. And then Declan, still on the board for you. You said Adam Thielen will play for the Vikings again before he retires.
Again.
Yeah.
Got a shot.
Feel good about it.
I think that this is on the board still. If he does what Patrick Peterson does, it doesn't and signs a one-day contract. It doesn't count because the word play is part of the prediction, right?
Yeah.
Play. Yep.
But I feel like Declan was intentional with that, right? Because you weren't trying to go through the back door here to get a cheap point.
Me?
You are saying I think he plays as like the third or fourth receiver in one last hurrah in 2026, perhaps.
Yeah.
I know he restructured his contract like when free agency began, so he redid his deal. But I still feel good about this. Come back home, cup of coffee or something, one last run. I can see it.
Now, if you're the Panthers, you're looking to win 8, 9, 10 games and take the next step in a bad division, and he's still a viable weapon for you. So I think if they were going to cut him or do something with him, it probably would have been by now. So this might be more of a 2026 sort of end your career type of thing. So, all right. So the statistics really didn't change. I'm at 55.6% completions, Judd 50%, listeners just below 43%, Declan 28.5%. Judd has 2 touchdowns. I have 1. Declan and listeners still looking for their first touchdowns on the year. The all-time stats dating back to 2021, Declan 36.5% completions, Judd just a tick under 35%. I'm at 34.5%. Listeners at 24.3%. Listeners clinging to a 1 touchdown lead with 60. I have 59. Declan 53, and Judd with 49. So there you have it. There's the accountability session. All right, let's bring Jay in here. A 2-timers club. Jay, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
What's the jersey? This 65?
59.
59. Okay, yeah. 59.
Any guesses?
Matt Blair?
You got it.
Wow.
There you
One
go.
of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah. Block kicks. Nobody blocked kicks like Matt Blair did.
Well, if I
When I
remember
was a kid,
back in the day, couldn't they jump on the lineman's back?
Yes. Yep. They would get, as I recall, a running start and then launch themselves off a guy's back. It was great.
So why didn't they block every kick then?
Well, they just missed sometimes.
Exactly.
They just couldn't get.
If you allowed that today, what percentage of kicks would be because they'd
a lot more
practice and master it, right? You would probably just stop kicking the ball.
Well, right, because and plus now, because you kick now from so far that those kicks have to begin low.
Yeah,
I feel like the one thing, and this is just from recall, the difference was as bad as the straight ahead toe kickers were. I feel like the ball got off a flight a little bit higher. Because
you're scooping it off the ground,
and you weren't trying to kick from like the 35 at that time, or the 40, which now is common.
Or you could also run a fake where if one of their 11 defenders is just going to take himself out by flying over the line of scrimmage, and now you wheel out to the left and there's a tight end floating over the middle where that defender was.
Back in the day, you wouldn't, but yeah, that's a good point. Now you would.
So, yeah, Jay, give us a reminder of your background as a Vikings fan, and also how do you feel about this team now going into 2025?
Well, I'm Judd's age, so I've been through a lot of torture as a Vikings fan.
Yes,
so you're optimistic, but also a little pessimistic at the same time, waiting for them to rip your heart out. I was born a Viking fan. My parents, actually on their wedding or for their honeymoon, went to Old Met Stadium and watch the Vikings play the Colts and Johnny Unitas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, dude.
And
That is really cool.
our family has had season tickets since 1984. So we survived the Les Steckel.
Nice little 3-win season to start your
That's
season ticket holder.
Hell of a year to start.
Yep. So,
oh my God.
Just Minnesota, but a Vikings fan. Bleed purple every Sunday.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, let's get started with some predictions here, Jay. You're going to go first, and then we'll go to Judd, Declan, back to me. 3 trips around the room. Fire away.
Write this down.
All right. Well, I'm old school like Judd, so I had to write mine down on a yellow notebook paper.
Oh, I like the yellow.
So I did a little research, and last year, JJ, Addison, and Hawkinson combined for 207 receptions. So write this down. The top 3 receivers of 2025 for the Vikings will have a combined 250 receptions.
Okay, or more. Can we say or more? Yeah.
Yep.
I want you to get burned by
the exact.
Write that down, please. Here. So that could be like Jefferson catches 115, Addison 70, and then
80, yeah.
Hawkinson with another, whatever the rest of the math.
Yeah, I think
there.
last year it was JJ had 103 and Addison was like 63 and then 41 from Hawkinson. So they're all going to increase a little bit, but they're going to have 250 receptions or more.
Hawk for sure.
Yeah, because he missed half the season.
Yeah, and plus he played fine, but he was never like fully himself, I didn't think.
Mm-hmm.
So and with a young QB who can use the tight end as a safety net essentially too, I think he could have a really big year. So
yeah. McCarthy, by the way, his last year at Michigan. So his top 3 receivers, Roman Wilson, wide receiver, caught 48 passes. Cornelius Johnson caught 47. But then his safety blanket tight end, Colston Loveland, who might be a first-round pick, was at 45 catches. So it was Colston Loveland, the tight end, was only 3 receptions behind the leader on that Michigan team. Some of that might be scheme and whatever they're calling for, but he did. And then there's another tight end that was 5th on the team. So of the top 5 pass catchers for Michigan, 2 of them were tight ends his last year. So this could be
Write this down.
Be tracking. All right, Judd.
all right, there will be 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round of the draft.
Ooh.
There will be 4.
I thought about making this one.
I'm going with Cam Ward, Shadur, Jackson Dart, Milroy. I think that steam is on point. I think there's going to be too much intrigue with his skill set for a team to pass late in the round. I have no idea if he's going to be good or not, but I think that I think there's definitely an intrigue there. So I'm going with just the write that down prediction is 4 quarterbacks will go in the first round.
Okay.
Write this down.
The Dexter.
Write this down. I'll make a quarterback 1 too, because I think this guy ends up going higher than maybe where the mocks are having him here. So write this down. Jackson Dart will be a first-round pick, and he'll be taken within the top 16 picks of the draft. So I know he's been more like towards the back end of the first. I'm going to say he's actually going to be more in the front end of the first. Someone gets desperate, trades up. I think it's also off the record. I think someone trades up and goes and nabs him earlier in the near the back end of the first round.
Yeah. It's always dicey when the season ends and a guy is like a 3rd-round pick maybe, and then 3 months go by without a game being played, and teams desperately talk themselves into, he's the 9th overall pick. Actually, we had him as the 100th guy on our board, but I don't know, man.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. You tell me if this is too much insider trading here, but I mentioned Colston Loveland. Write this down. When Colston Loveland is drafted, the Michigan tight end, they will show him on camera on either NFL Network and or ESPN, and JJ McCarthy will be on camera with him.
He's going there, right?
No. Yeah, you can't do this.
Yeah,
it sounds like he's going to support his buddy.
Yeah,
but there's no guarantee that he will be on camera.
I think it's a given. He'll be, and they'll put him on camera for sure. Yeah.
Like just like you know. Well, I mean, I could say it's insider trading that that Jackson Dart's going to get drafted. But there's no guarantee where he's going to get drafted.
Yeah, but he's
JJ's going to go support his buddy.
Right.
I'm
but
saying you're going to get a JJ McCarthy will be on camera after Colston Loveland gets drafted from wherever they're gathered.
I object. I object.
Why?
Well,
I object. I find this to be.
If I were to say he's going to be there, that's insider trading. If I were to say he will be on camera once the draft, there's no guarantee that they even show Colston Loveland because he's not invited. He's not going to the draft.
I'm just telling you. I object.
I object as well.
It's ridiculous. Okay. All right. Scratch that one off then.
How about the Vikings draft? Huh? Draft his buddy. Huh? Spade him.
Where is he? Because he's like, we've seen him in like the teens. Would they draft? Do you think they draft? Because I would not object to draft. If it's best player available, well, they already have Hawkinson. I don't care. Like, the Vikings had Jake Reed and Chris Carter one time. Well, we already have 2 receivers. I guess we shouldn't take Randy. I'm not saying Colston Loveland is Randy Moss, but I'll reworkshop this one. All right, I'll give you this one.
Okay.
The Vikings will trade at least 3 times in the draft. They will make at least 3 trades in the draft.
All right.
Okay.
Write this down.
Sounds good to me.
Back to Jay. Is that insider? Oh, is that insider trading? Oh, they're talking trade.
Growing up in southern Minnesota along the border, it's always having to deal with Packer fans. Even like DirecTV, your Fox affiliate comes out of Wisconsin, so if they play at the same time, all you get is the Packers. So this is for our Packer friends. By the end of the 2026 season, Matt LaFleur will either be fired or resign as the Packers head coach.
Wow.
The Purple Daily Anonymous tip line is aligning with this prediction right now.
That's where I got this from.
Yep. You know what's funny? We've gone in like 12 months, we've gone from it'd be hilarious to read some of these emails on the show to all of us being like, this is the best source of information, the most accurate possible source of information, better than Schefter, better than Rappaport.
Well, it's real inside stuff.
Dude,
it's not transactional.
If Asante Samuel Jr. becomes a Viking, all hail the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line from this point going forward.
We'll be taking this to a new, because that would be incredible. And the thing about it is, the more tips that we get, which seem incredibly plausible, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, there's we've had 2. There was the one that we kicked around. I don't think there's one that we have not brought up on the show yet, right? But I think we probably will on Friday.
Probably will. I feel like we're obligated to.
Little tease.
I think we may have to couch it even more than the emailer emailed, hey, keep this anonymous. I don't want to get my friend in trouble. Yeah. But I don't think he couched it enough even. So we're going to have to.
That's up to you.
Discretion. Okay.
That's up to you to decide.
That'll be Friday on the Feedback Friday episode of Purple Daily.
But there's
write this down.
All right.
Do you think ESPN, they just announced like the hire of Peter Schrager? Maybe the next hire, ESPN, the big headline all across the internet will be ESPN hires the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line as their next NFL insider.
No, they just steal it.
Yeah, they probably will.
The idea, if you have seen an NFL player at a nightclub, you need to alert us immediately.
Write that down.
All right, back to Judd.
All right, write this down. Travis Hunter will have 3 or more interceptions and 2 or more touchdown receptions as a rookie.
Oh.
I'm a definite stan of what this kid can do. Shedeur, I have no idea. Hunter, I think, is legit. So, Dex, that's 3 or more picks and 2 or more touchdown receptions as a rookie for Travis Hunter.
You got it. I like it.
All right. Okay.
Write this down.
All right. Write this down. The Vikings will take a safety or defensive back within the first 100 picks of the draft. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a first round pick, but they're going to have some picks obviously within the first top 100, and there'll be a safety or a DB taken. I'm going to loop both the positions together. I don't want to get. I was going to say defensive back, and then I don't want to get in some gray area where it's a safety and it's corner. So safety or cornerback in the first 100 picks of the draft.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because we have no idea what their day 2 is going to look like at this point. Right now, they have 1 pick in the second and third rounds. It's the 97th pick toward the end of the third round. But if they were to trade back from like 24, they could trade from 24 into the beginning of the second round, pick up an extra early third round pick or something. So it's all over that. All right, write this down. Put this on the record.
Write this down.
I know they've kind of solved their running back conundrum with the acquisition of Mason, and Aaron Jones still plays at a high level. I still think they're going to draft a running back, and right now they only have 4 picks. So if I don't think it makes sense to do it if you only have 4 picks. So I think they'd have to get to 6 or 7 picks so that they're filling some other positions that are maybe a little bit more needy. But my prediction is they will draft a running back. The Vikings will still draft a running back in the 2025 draft. Too many good players. And you're telling me, like, let's say you pick up an extra third round pick and one of those Ohio State running backs is still sitting there in the early third. Like,
And Jones might be done. Like 2025 here could be a swan song easily, right? So
And
no,
you could
it makes perfect sense because
you could
Chandler's
stash
probably
him.
gone.
He might be gone before the season starts. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So yeah, it makes perfect sense.
You bring him in for the reps.
Write this down.
So, okay, back to Jay for your third and final prediction.
All right. If I remember right, Mackie, you made a prediction about the Vikings breaking the sack record. Was it like 70 sacks?
That was me.
I think Judd did that.
You
Yeah.
said that?
Yep.
This is going to go along that line. So last year, the Vikings had 2 players that recorded double-digit sacks, Grenard and Van Ginkel. Well, so in 2025, the Vikings are going to double that. So they're going to have at least 4 players record double digits of sacks.
Off the record, give us your prediction of who do we add to that? Are you keeping those 2 guys in the double digits and then adding 2 more, or who do you think?
I think either Allen or Hargrave.
Hargrave, yeah.
But I think sneakily, like Pace could get there, or even Cashman.
Or Dallas Turner.
I was going to say,
Or
what
Dallas
about
Turner,
Turner?
Yep.
Mhm. Gabriel
I
Murphy.
think one of those linebackers
Okay.
might get one.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
Pace, I mean, Pace is one of the best blitzing inside linebackers in the league. And so if he gets enough cracks at it and stays healthy,
Well, and
I
he
could see
might
him
get
flirting.
more cracks because of those 2 tackles they signed.
Mm-hmm.
Will be taking people up and opening holes for him to get in there.
oh,
Just
yeah.
big men. A gap, nothing there anymore,
Big
folks.
dogs.
No vacancies now.
That's right.
Love it.
Or a lot of vacancies. The A
I
gap
love it,
is
too.
vacant right now. And
Oh,
there goes
God.
Ivan Pace.
That's right.
All right, Jay. Well, awesome predictions. We wish you the best of luck with them since you've got this life-altering platform once again here. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank that helped you get here today?
No, my eldest son turned me on to you guys, and now, much to my wife's chagrin, every time I have my headphones in, this is what I'm listening to. But she
Well,
does
we
support.
appreciate you.
She supports the Viking tradition and watching games, and everybody wears jersey. Even Dodge the dog puts a jersey on Sundays.
Oh,
But just her and her willingness to put up with it.
awesome,
That's
man.
awesome.
Well, at least you got your headphones
Tell her
in,
thank
so you're
you.
not completely driving.
Yeah,
her
I was going to
crazy,
say,
you know?
headphones are fine then. Yeah, you're fine.
She just knows. It's like, oh, well, I suppose you're listening to that podcast.
She's
again.
trying to talk about her day at work or something, and you're like, oh,
Shh,
yeah.
honey, they're about to read
Daily.
another anonymous
Yeah.
email. Just
Yeah.
hold on a second. Yeah,
Exactly.
From a
Let's write that
nightclub-
down
from a
time. Just keep it
nightclub
down. We'll talk about your day later.
or not. We'll see.
Yeah, that goes over real well.
Oh, I know. I know how that works. Believe me. Thank you.
Jay, awesome stuff, man. Thanks for the kind words. And we'll see you
thank
again
you, guys.
sometime. All right. Two-timers club there. Jay on write that down. Before we make our final predictions and also get to a random Viking of the week here, we are 8 days away from the 2025 Purple Daily Draft Party presented by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. There are still some tickets available at scorenorth.com/draft. There will be several hundred of your fellow Viking fan friends and Purple Daily listeners or viewers. And it's just it's a big fun annual celebration of this football team. And you guys, the podcast audience, scorenorth.com/draft. Couple reminders. 15% room rate discount at Element Hotel, which is connected to it when you go to scorenorth.com/element. And the pre-party at Brixworth, just down the street, literally like across kitty corner. Starts at 3:30, so 3:30 to 5 at Brixworth, and then doors open for general admission tickets at 5:30 at the Fillmore. VIP opens at 5 o'clock for the meet and greet. So again, a shout out and a thank you to Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, Two Men in a Junk Truck, Roku, and all of our partners that help us put on this event. We can't wait for a week from tomorrow. Speaking of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, are they going to come over to your new house and rewire some stuff, or what's going to happen?
They will. That another thing, they looked at the furnace, but they also had them look at the AC. The AC unit's about 25 years old. So they said, you know what? Crank that thing when it starts, and then our friends at Standard Heating can come on and make sure that that's working out. Dex Tweets may have negotiated a little bit of an appliance warranty with the sellers. So, I mean, this works out for everyone. I get
like
Standard to get out there.
Bucket of ice and a fan probably isn't going to keep you guys warm in August.
Not gonna cut it. So luckily my friends at Standard Heating come out there. They can make life a little bit easier for me on that air conditioning. They're our presenting sponsor of the Purple Daily Draft Party. We appreciate them, and they provide me the peace of mind that I needed to help buy that home. And then same thing, if you're in your house and you're looking at that furnace or your HVAC or any of the AC needs as the weather now is finally heating up, hopefully for good here in the Twin Cities, call Standard Heating. They're going to take care of it for you. No need to DIY it. Go to standardheatingandair.com to learn more.
On the Roku TV front, oftentimes the Roku TV, the 65-inch 4K Roku TV is the thing that brings the Mackies together. Phil, wife, dog, sitting on the couch together. Last night, we got 2 Roku TVs rocking. I'm watching an absolute gem of a baseball game at Target Field, a packed house last night. Big win for the Twinks. And my wife is on the other Roku TV watching some Bravo shows, which I will dabble in once in a while. But that's the thing. Like, the Roku TVs really are just it's the thing that connects us after a long workday. It's the place to gather for a sporting event. And if you're ever confused about where to find sports in 2025, Roku can help with their Sports Zone section, where you can favorite and follow teams and enjoy even adjacent programming and things that pertain to your favorite teams. Roku.com to learn more, or shop at a retailer near you.
Write this down.
Okay, Judd, your third and final prediction.
All right. My third and final is about a former Vikings assistant, Kevin Stefanski, and his team and his quarterback situation with the Cleveland Browns. Write this down. Kenny Pickett will be his starting quarterback in week 1 of next season. Kenny Pickett. I don't think Flacco's going to get the job. I think he's there as a backup. And I think they're going to force Pickett to start. Off the record, I think it's a disaster. But I think Kenny Pickett is going to end up starting week 1.
But if you're the Browns, and I don't know, they might take Travis Hunter, or there's different ways they could go.
Sure.
The Ravens aren't going anywhere this year. The Bengals are still pretty loaded on offense anyways. And the Steelers are looking to once again win 9 or 10 games. Just tank. Well,
that's
go get
what they
like
might
Arch
be doing.
Manning or something next year.
That's exactly what their goal might be. Have you ever seen a guy do an about face, though, like Myles Garrett? I want to win. Yes. I want to go somewhere. Yeah. Hey, here's millions of dollars. I'm staying here.
It's amazing what $40 million a year can do to your... I really want to win a championship. Do you want $40 million a year instead? Yes, that sounds great.
He's like, they told me they're going to improve the team and get a quarterback. It's like, yeah, they got Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco back at the age of like 57.
It's like, I really just want to win a championship, and I can't deal with this revolving door at quarterbacks. So we're going to have Kenny Pickett, but we're going to give you $40 million. Love me some Kenny Pickett.
You're going to get
great, like Pickett family, great family.
You're going to make all the cash that a real QB would make, because we're not going to have a real QB. And Garrett said, oh, absolutely. That's great. Okay, I'm paid like a quarterback.
It's wild, man. All right.
Write this down.
Declan's final prediction.
All right, write it down. I'll put it on the record. We talked about over-unders yesterday, and I said the Panthers. So write it down. The Panthers will go over their 6.5 projected win total in 2025. They'll go over their 6.5.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that segment yesterday too. It was on my list of. I'm gonna piggyback off you here.
Oh, here he is.
I'll give you a parlay because I agree on the Panthers.
Okay.
Totally agree on. So we're going. Let's swing for because it has to be a 3-item parlay here, probably, right? So let's go to be a touchdown. We're gonna go over 6.5 on the Panthers. We're gonna go. What was the Cowboys? 8.5. Yeah, it was 8.5.
Yeah, we're going under.
Whatever it is, we're gonna go under on the Cowboys.
It was 2. I'm going under.
And let's go. Over. Yeah.
Just so you're clear, on FanDuel, it's 7.5 right now for Dallas. FanDuel has 7.5. Now, I know you were doing ESPN Bet. We got conflicting sports books here, so I just want to make sure which one we're.
So we should probably go
in.
Well, I can't lock into an
ESPN.
Outdated number though, so.
Yeah.
Well, let me just see if I can find an 8.5 real quick.
It's different services though.
but
your
the
defense,
but it was from 2 weeks ago. I can't. It's not fair to lock into like. Well, I guess I could just make an arbitrary.
Yeah,
I could say
I'd
Cowboys
have a less
below
of a problem
12
with
and a
that
half.
than the stunt you attempted to pull it with your first
The
prediction.
stunt.
The stunt.
Okay,
The stunt.
let's unpack that for a
It's
second.
It's insider trading of the worst source.
It is, but I didn't try to hide the insider trading. I'm
I know.
saying
Sure.
I have a strong feeling that JJ McCarthy is going to go support his friend Colston Loveland, right? So I'm not hiding that. And I'm adding to it, and that's not my prediction. My prediction is he'll be on camera after.
Well, hold
he's
on
gonna
a
make
second.
a cameo.
Just to be clear here, without divulging too much, you have sources that told you he's going, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very close situation.
So that's a
you might
big
say, yeah.
difference then. I have a feeling he's going to support his friend.
But that's not the prediction. The prediction is out of his control. I'm saying
but
ESPN or
he's
NFL
the Vikings
Network.
quarterback. The odds, if he's in the same room, they're going to show him.
Yeah.
At the
Agreed.
same time.
He might be eating the sour cream and onion dip in the back.
That was.
You're
I mean,
climbing
I've
up this
tried
whole,
some stuff before, and I've been called out by my
Same.
friends. I appreciate that.
We've all
I
done
appreciate when I get called out for my pushing things too far. That's all I'm saying.
I hope there's at least one person in the comments that can come to my defense here. So we're going. All right, I've got updated numbers. Let's go. I'm looking at a couple different places here. Draft. So Panthers 6.5. We're going over. Cowboys are sitting at 7.5 now. So we'll go under that. I'm gonna go under the 7.5 on the Cowboys.
Don't think you're wrong.
And then what are the Raiders at? Because I was bullish on the Raiders. Oh, they've gone up from 5.5 to 6.5. I'll take the over on that too.
Okay.
I'll
I
take
like
the
that.
over on the 6.5 for the Raiders. Old Pete Carroll. He doesn't have many sub-7 win seasons. So
Write this down.
there you have it here. Okay, before we get to a random Vike of the week,
I want a mock.
we've got a kind of a new mock draft here from a few days ago, but it's from Judd's favorite mock draft site, draftblaster.com, the thinking man's guide to the draft.
The Harvard of the Draft Blaster. We're the Yale of the draft.
That's right. It's the Harvard of the draft, mock draft sites. We're going to defund draftblaster.com. It's going to be great. The number one pick, Cam Ward to the Titans, and then Travis Hunter to the Browns, Abdul Carter to the Giants, even though the Giants are bringing in all these quarterbacks for one final look-see here. Could be a smoke screen. And then they got Ashton Ginty to the Raiders, which would help my over on these 6.5. Jackson Dart to the Saints at 9.
Okay.
Gray Zabel to the Dolphins at 13.
Okay, so he's shooting up these boards.
highest.
What was the one that you gave us on Gray Zabel yesterday?
He's blasting up the boards.
You gave us one.
19th,
I think it was like Yeah, it's like 17th or 19th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, a bunch of other good college players going here in the teens, and their families are happy. Omari and Hampton, running back, North Carolina to the Broncos at 20.
Yeah.
Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan to the Chargers. Harbaugh grabs his guy. That makes a lot of sense at 22. A good, reliable tight end. And then with the 24th overall pick, according to draftblaster.com, the thinking man's guide to the draft,
No question about it.
the Minnesota Vikings select edge rusher out of Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart.
I want a mock.
Super interesting. Wasn't he one of the players that Thor was telling us, or was it Forno, in one of our simulations that, hey, if one of those, there's like a couple guys that make no sense on paper, but if they happen to be there, you have to take them. Here's the write-up. The Vikings are really going all in on their quarterback. Are the Vikings really going all in on their quarterback? Stewart is a risk, but one that seems very much worth it for a team with a stacked roster. So this would just be a classic best player available situation.
Interesting.
Van Ginkel is 30. Grenard is still pretty young.
Grenard's
like
young.
28, 27.
Yeah. Turner, though, is emerging. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Let me pull up the PFF big board here, which is what we've been going off of with our simulations. So they have, let's see, Shamar. Okay, well, he's not one of their top 20. Well, it's funny. They actually have Cam Ward as their 21st ranked player on the PFF big board.
What?
Number 1 quarterback, but 21st. Yeah, they always have kind of.
Thank you, Mansbach.
Yeah.
That's odd, though.
So, I mean, how would you guys feel
I want a mock.
if the draft, if 24th overall pick comes,
Yeah,
and maybe they trade back a couple spots, but
Right.
maybe they don't,
Right.
and they take an edge rusher? It would mean that it's clearly the best player on their board.
Yeah, I mean, if he's clearly the best and he's a Pro Bowl type of talent, then yes. But I will say, I would hope you wouldn't take someone who would then eat into Turner's playing time, because Dallas Turner needs an opportunity as well. But yeah, I mean, if he's clearly the best, we've seen that before. It ordinarily works out if you're clearly the best.
Keep in mind too, Andrew Van Ginkel's contract voids after this year, so like he doesn't have it. He's probably gone.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. You're not always just drafting for this year's needs. Yeah. You're looking at a 3-5 year arc, and you're looking at ages, and
guys get hurt.
Yeah, the National Football League.
Exactly right. Guys miss time. So
there's your update from DraftBlaster.com, the thinking man's guide to the draft.
Who do you think combined those two things? Because like Draft Blaster, I'm fine with, but then it's got to be like, we'll blow you away with our mock drafts. But like, who said, okay, here's what it's got to be. Let's name it Draft Blaster, but then let's call it the Thinking Man's Guide.
Yeah, it seems paradoxical for sure, but it's been
point.
hooking us for all these years, even going back to our old radio show.
And perhaps that's the goal. It's just so weird.
Shock and awe.
That it works. Thanks.
All right, it's time for a random Viking of the week here, gentlemen. Presented in part by Golf Season. Dex?
Yes, the Meadows at Mystic Lake. That's where it starts. You got tee times available for this weekend. You can go to golfthemeadows.com. Maybe you've been looking for a place to play and you want some scenic tee boxes and just a great, well-kept course. The Meadows at Mystic Lake is where you want to go. Go to golfthemeadows.com to book that tee time. Send us a selfie from a tee box. Show me how to not, just duff the drive. You know when Rory on, 17, was yelling, go, go, go,
Yeah.
go. I do the same thing when I skull my drive and it's just spinning on the ground. I go, go,
Get past
go.
the red
I do
tees.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just making sure my pants stay up. So go to golfthemeadows.com to book that next tee time.
Also, it's riding season here, and sun is shining right now. It's a little chilly, but you could throw a little jacket on, throw your helmet on, hop on your motorcycle, ATV, your dirt bike, whatever it is. And if you are into riding season over the next few months, Dennis Kirk has you covered with over 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories. Same-day shipping when you place an order by 6 p.m. Central, and free shipping when you order more than $89 worth of stuff. So if you are into motorcycles, ATVs, talking to you, Ragnar, go to DennisKirk.com and find out why they are the best in the business for riding parts, apparel, and accessories. All right. So we brought back the Random Viking of the Week last week. We, after doing like 130 of these between 2021 and 2023, we kind of ran out of gas. We had exhausted a lot of the players. We kind of ran into like some juicy off seasons where we were talking about Kirk Cousins and JJ McCarthy. So we just kind of stopped doing Random Viking of the Week there for a while, but you guys have been asking us to bring it back. So it's back. We've wiped the slate clean, and Declan has the clues this time around here after I gave you guys clues last week. Judd has a 1-0 lead. I'm looking for my first win, and Declan's... Or wait, did I win?
You won.
Did I win last week? Okay.
I did the clues last week.
You're right. So I got the win, and then Judd is looking for his first, and so is Declan. But Bobby Wade was the first Random Viking in the second iteration of this. So here we go.
All right. This Random Viking Played 125 games in the NFL. He made 1 Pro Bowl. He was a consensus All-American in college.
Big man on campus, what he was.
Dang right. Yeah, stew on that.
Try to do the math here on the games.
Yeah.
Here's a fun little clue.
Yep.
This random Viking played in more games than the following Vikings players, notable Vikings players. He played in more games than Adrian Peterson and Randy Moss.
So he played in more games as a Viking than those guys did as okay. He spent quite a bit of his career in purple is what we're getting at. Not with the Ravens necessarily either.
Well, wait, you said games in the NFL or games with the Vikings?
That last clue was for games with the Vikings.
Vikings.
Got it.
So those guys played in more than
With the Vikings, yep.
Yeah. I feel like I know. I feel like I got a little bit more knowledge right now.
Oh, do you?
But we'll find out. We'll soon find out.
Sure.
All right.
This random Viking had 1 career touchdown.
I almost guessed Alexander Madison just out of spite, but I'm not gonna do that.
Is this right?
All right.
Yes, it is right. This random Viking played in 2 playoff games with the Vikings. Both of them starts, and he won 1 of the games. He was part of the team that won 1 playoff game.
Wow. That's a crazy clue right there, actually.
Yeah, and I think this might help. This might not do anything for you. I thought it'd be more.
Well, mathematically, it feels impossible that it's not.
Yeah, it's surprising because given the amount of games played and the teams he was on, it should be more.
Chad Greenway.
Chad Greenway is incorrect.
No. All right, Jug. We get to 3 strikes.
3 strikes. We get 3 strikes. All right.
Trying to figure out what my next clue I want to give you. Yeah, So Random Viking is currently 44 years old.
All right, so he's.
So I think I know. Okay, so that team did not go to the playoffs.
So
no, this actually tracks really well for what
it does. So, okay. Oh man, this is wheelhouse stuff here. But why would he not have played in 3 playoff games? Why would he not have played in 3 playoff games?
Yeah, you guys covered this player.
Yeah, it's a very specific wheelhouse because they make the playoffs enough to where this doesn't make a ton of sense. Okay. So he would have been. No, I have thoughts, but I don't want to give all my thoughts away.
No, that's not him.
This is crazy.
He didn't play enough games.
Okay, E.J. Henderson.
E.J. Henderson is correct.
Let's go, dude.
Judd, you were sniffing. You were there. You had
He was hurt in 08.
And 09.
So what were the playoff games he played in? I was, as you said, to play in 2 playoff games and go 1-1, but they played in 08, they got beat, and then 09 they went 1-1.
He was on the 04 team that beat the Packers.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So he did not play
He was drafted in 03.
in the 08 or 09 playoffs.
Correct.
But he played
Wow.
because they beat the Packers in 04.
Yeah, because he would. Yeah. Nice job, Phil.
All right, two wins to start the new iteration of Random Viking.
I was right there. I did not realize. He played in more games than Adrian Peterson.
More
Moss,
than AP, more than Moss.
AP was here forever. It felt like.
Yeah,
Moss,
he missed that whole year, and then
interesting. Yeah, it's true.
9th in all time in solo tackles for Vikings history in terms of ones that I've tracked.
He turned himself into a really good player before the leg snapped in Arizona.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid that clue. I almost gave you just off the bat. He earned comeback player of the year votes once, but I figured if I continued to wait, you'd pick up on the fact that
his femur is still in somewhere in Phoenix.
Yeah,
shards of femur bone.
Yeah, awful. So EJ Henderson.
EJ Henderson, let's go. All right, little 2-0 lead out of the gate here for me. You got work to do. So next week, Judd's going to give the clues. It'll be Declan in search of his first win in the revamped, reset version of Random Viking the Week. All right, boys, good little write that down session here today. It'll be Thursday before you know it. It'll be Feedback Friday, and we're just counting down the days until the draft. ScoreNorth.com/draft if you are interested in joining us for a fun night in a week from tomorrow at the Fillmore in Minneapolis. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl around here before we die. So,